Everette Price, you'll get to know him in a minute here if you don't know him already. Hell of a good guy, man. I really love this guy to death. I could sit here and I could talk to him for hours. Matter of fact, we'll probably do this thing again sometime in the future when both of our schedules aren't so friggin' packed. Speaking of packed schedules, cool thing coming up on February 10th at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone, 3 p.m. It's a very strange hour, but it's going to be awesome. We're doing the Geeks Comedy Show. It used to be the Geeks Night of Comedy, and now it's called the Geek Comedy Show. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it's kind of interesting, but either way, it's called the Geek Comedy Show, and it's going on at 3 p.m. at Virginia Beach Funny Bone. It's going to be pretty cool. And also, and I'm very, very proud to say, Fremont, Ohio is the city I was born in, and a lot of people keep asking, hey, when are you going to come to town and do some jokes, maybe do some comedy, blah, blah, blah. We need a really good comedy show, and there's been a couple other good comics there, so I'm not saying anything against them. I'm just saying I've never been to Fremont and done comedy in Fremont, but I'm taking the Joke Slingers Comedy Tour to my hometown. That's Brian Kearns, Adam Dodd, Alex Moore. Man, I'll tell you what, it was cool when they were here a while back. They were staying here at my house, and it felt like being 10 years old all over again, having all your friends spend the night, and I really enjoy hanging out with those guys, man. But I'm really happy about this show. Also, I got really, really stoked to say I did land that interview with Jay Rose Hill, if you don't know already. Hell of a good guy. I still need to edit that and put it out. You guys will probably enjoy that too. But hey, man, here's Everette Price. Friends, fans, followers, leaders, and true believers. I'm sitting here with Everette Price, a good buddy of mine, fellow comic. I gave him a shout out not too long ago on a previous one of these things. And we're fucking talking about fucking saying the fuck word and fucking shit like that. What's up, Ev? How you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing well, man.
I've never called you Ev before in my entire life.
we're on the radio now. Anything goes.
Fuck it. Like we were just talking about people, you don't trust people that don't cuss.
I don't trust anyone who doesn't curse at me. Or curse not at me, but just if we go a long period of time and they haven't cursed at all, I don't trust them. Because they're hiding something. They're not being real, or they're some sort of religious fanatic, or some sort of ass-kissing idiot trying to get to the top.
I've never been on a ship, but I'm technically a sailor. I've been a sailor for the last 16 years. A fucking dirt sailor. Cursing like a sailor's actually been a lifestyle I've lived. Pardon the mess, man. But the funny thing is, too, is just like, especially working with fellow Navy Seabees, we do construction, we do combat, and we are sailors. And it's funny when you come into a situation where you have a boss, it's like, please don't say those words. And it's like, why? What the fuck?
I've never had a boss where I was cursing and they told me to stop. I've only had them respect me after that, or no, I'm actually telling them something for real. I'm not bullshitting them, like kissing their ass or beating around the bush. I'm just talking.
Well, like, I had officers that I've worked for in the past. I'm not going to bash names or any other stuff. I'm just going to say it's kind of funny because, like, especially the salty combat veterans, that when they know that you ain't bullshitting and you're not really afraid of things, when you're like, you know what, this shit's fucked up, sir.
Exactly.
And they're like, roger that, SW1, well, what do you think's fucked up about it? Versus, well, you see, we gotta be careful, and we don't want to use those kind of profound words.
Yeah, that guy's full of shit right there. The guy doing that's full of shit every time.
It's not professional. It's not professional. Fuck that, man.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. That's one of the issues I'm having with my stand-up right now, is trying to take the curse words out, because once you get in front of a large audience, it's still not phasing me. I'm just talking to them like normal, and they're like, whoa, chill out, guy.
the thing I've noticed, too, and especially from, like, hanging out at the Comedy Store a lot, and thanks to you guys over, because Everette Price works over at the Funny Bone here in Virginia Beach. His boss, Rick's really cool with fellow comics coming in to watch shows for free and stuff, as long as you are a comic and you actually register at the front desk to say, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah,
I learned
definitely do that. Don't try to just waltz in through the bag.
No,
your head ripped off.
But going back, that's a funny story we'll kind of revisit in a minute. But I really want to.
It's a funny story I've seen more than once.
What I was going to say though is that fuck word in comedy is awesome and it's used artistically but not excessively. And that's one of the things too. I think like fuck in comedy is like a speech person saying or if you're saying fuck every other word, it's just like somebody giving a speech, like a presidential speech or something to that effect, or a dictator's speech where he says or too much, because it's like, fucking, I got fucking this going on and fucking that's going on, and they're saying fuck between every other fucking word because they don't know what the fuck else to fucking say.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's actually how I opened for Joel Lindley on Wednesday, and that's actually what since that show, I'm actually trying to rewrite my whole set, and I'm finding out as I go through it, the curse words aren't even really that necessary for the jokes. Like, you could take it out, that's the same joke. You can replace bitch with girl, and it's just more accepted. It's almost funnier once you're not cursing. Well, I never realized. I've been doing a year. I never realized that till now. It's crazy.
You know, I found that sometimes if you say penis instead of dick, is actually kind of funny, or even just if you say vagina.
Yeah, I went to Kazi's and I had a couple dick jokes, so you're not allowed to say dick there. Actually, the first time I was ever at Kazi's, I got yanked off the stage because I started going into the suck my dick joke.
I remember that, man.
And I got the red light, yanked off stage, and told I won't be performing there for a while. And over the year, I've worked my way back in there. I'm cool there now, but I went back there, same joke, said wiener, and they're laughing more, because wiener just sounds ridiculous. Like, oh, this guy's grabbing his wiener. Like, you know.
Poop's another one where you can substitute instead of saying shit sometimes.
Or maybe, hey, develop a joke that's not talking about your cock, you fucking idiot.
Right? Well, that's the thing, too. You ever notice, like, shit you did a year ago, you don't do it anymore.
The stuff I did 2 months ago, like, I sat down going through my stuff about all the stuff I'm not supposed to do. It's like, you're not supposed to, you know, make fun of black people as a white guy. You're not supposed to like, make fun of retarded children. You're not supposed to make fun of fat girls. And I'm sitting there going, like, okay, so basically I need to start over. It's like, I pretty much hit all of this.
I found that, like, black jokes are awesome if you're with black comedians or in a black room. It's always like, you say a black joke in a white room, they're like, have so much white guilt in that fucking room, they're afraid to laugh.
It's unbelievable. I've tried so many different times, I can't even say black on stage. I can't even say the word black without the entire audience shutting down immediately. I don't know, it's just, but you can see other people get up there and get away with it all day, but for something, I don't know, about my look or the way I sound or whatever it is, that it's just like you said, it's like the white people clam up
or the
most because they don't want to piss anyone off, and they're like, oh shit, no, he ain't getting me in trouble, I ain't laughing at this shit, you know, and it's just like, dude, man, grow some fucking balls, man.
Gay sympathizers, you know, is what another thing too is. It's like, because I have friends that have family that are gay, and nobody gives a fuck. It always seems like that one straight guy. It's like, you're making fun of my friend. Whereas their friend is like, oh, this is so funny.
Yeah.
Just say it again. That's so hilarious. And they're shaking your hand after the show, thinking it was funny because they know there was no harm done.
Yeah.
You know? But,
to me, I don't think there should be limits. It shouldn't be, you can't make fun of gays. You can't make fun of black people. You can't make fun of that. To me, it's, you should make fun of everyone. You have to make fun of, if you're only making fun of gays, then there's a real problem. But
I mean, if you got a vindictive,
if you make fun of everyone,
you know, and it's just like somebody needs to scope that. Why did they come to a show then? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's not like there's not a giant chunk of my set that's not making fun of pathetic white people, aka me. When
we were talking a minute ago, what happened at the Funny Bone about going in the back door or something like that? I remember somebody, not at the back door, but there's a gate. You're talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to sneak in or something.
There's the patio area, and they've actually even put up new and bigger signs on there now that say, do not enter. I guess some of the guys, once they've been up there enough, they just figure they'll just waltz in through the back door.
I used to do that, too. I'm glad you warned me.
Just when there's a really big line, especially on, like, nights like The Clash, where it consists of mainly comedians. everyone can't just roll in through the back door. You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, it's getting to the point like people aren't even going up. They're not even really comedians there. There's guys that they are comedians, but I've never even seen them on the Funny Bone stage, and they just think I can just walk in the club and just go, and they're like, hey, well, I got some people coming. It's like, so is this your club? Like, do you work here? What's going on? Like, I don't know. Even the stuff you're saying, I even do that same stuff still to this day. Like I went to try to. I thought this girl was having a guest set the other night, and I was just gonna come in and check it out. And I went straight to a manager. Hey, you mind if I just come in and check this guest set out real fast? And they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you asking? I'm like, I just want to make sure. You know, I don't want to be in there and then what are you doing? You know, like that type of thing. But there's definitely people that they know they can come in and check out the show. It's not a problem. Like you said, they're cool with the real comedians who are there, who work there, who do work there. It's definitely nice. It's nice for them. Like you said, you can come in, you can relax. You can, it's actually kind of I think it's the opposite of being frowned upon. It's a good thing when they're in there, seeing on days when they're not going up, they're just hanging out, they're checking out the shows. I think it looks good for you.
Well,
you know?
the best thing, too,
shows you're into the comedy.
As long as you're not a hack, as long as you're not fucking, in other words, military people, if you don't know what a hack is, it's somebody that steals comedy shit. It's basically plagiarism of comedy. You gotta watch the artist, you know what I mean? That's the best way to just learn. I mean, you might not steal what they're saying, but just watching people not step on their jokes and doing all that other shit. One of the times, Pauly Shore was here. Every time, pretty much anybody from the Comedy Store, when they come down, I go and I watch them. And I got Stevie Simone, Dove Davidoff, Brent Ernst, freaking Pauly Shore was there, and it was fucking sold out, you know? And I was like, I got some of the guest seats, and they actually came in, pulled me out, and a couple of people I was with, and at first I was like, kind of like, oh, this kind of sucks, man. Pauly's like, hey, yeah, come... Yeah, buddy, come hang out. You know, so I was like, cool. And 5 minutes later, Rick's like, hey, no, don't worry about it, man. And he put us up in the fucking suite up top. And then it's funny, too, because I went and I grabbed Sandy Danto did his set and hung out in the suite, man. You guys fucking hooked us up, dude. That was really cool.
Yeah, well, that's a part of it, too, that a lot of people, I'm still learning, starting out, is probably 80% of the stand-up comedy is the business portion of it, you know, and then the numbers are what are most important, and a lot of people don't realize that, but when there's a guy in there who's gonna sell out every single seat, I mean, like we got Cedric the Entertainer coming up.
That's gonna be
he just added another show at midnight. He's doing 3 shows in a row.
When's the midnight show? Tonight?
No. This is when he's here. Like on, I think it's the Saturday night or Friday night. One of those. I think it's the Saturday night. Okay. Yeah, I know it's the Saturday. It's he added a 3rd midnight show, so he's doing 3 shows in a row. And for all the top shows he's here, I think there's this was last night. It's probably not even true anymore, but there was 2 left. There was a few left for the midnight show, and there was a few left for one other show. But he's almost completely sold out, way before he got here.
Right.
So when you're in a situation like that and a ticket costs $60, you can't let a couple local guys just come in and take a few tables, because that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars right there, you know? And that's... It takes a lot of money to run a club like that in the middle of town center. It's no joke, you know? I mean, there's a lot of bills, a lot of stuff to pay for. It takes a lot of people to run that show, even for one night, you know?
Especially right now, in times like this, where everybody's trying to hold on to money, you know?
Exactly.
You and I were talking about, not too long ago, about how the club was Tuesday through Sunday, and now it's actually scaling back to go Wednesday.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I still have heard of a few Tuesday shows, but yeah, that's how it was when I started. It was just... there weren't Monday, Tuesday shows, rarely, and now I think they're getting back to that again. They got really strong for a while where they actually had that. There were months where we were doing three Tuesday shows in a month, and but yeah, it's starting to go back a little bit. Like I've noticed a little bit from last year. It's not quite as slam as it was last year, but then the first time they scaled it back, I don't know if they had the Clash last Wednesday, and that was the biggest Clash we've had. So I think it was the right move putting it to Wednesday. I mean, we were basically, I think, just about going upstairs for the Clash of the Comics. And
oh, no shit.
I haven't seen that in a good 6 months. So it could have just been that people don't want to go out on Tuesday night, you know? Like, people think Monday and Tuesday is the day to recover and relax.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. There's something's on really good, too. Well,
maybe, I don't know. The
Sons of Anarchy is done right now, so I don't see that Tuesdays being such a big thing. Since you've been there, man, who's been... your favorite person to see?
My favorite person... Oh, jeez, man, that's hard.
Well, some of your favorite people. How's that?
I mean, I tell you what, man. Pablo Francisco was one of the coolest dudes I've met. One of the guys I want to like just amaze me at like how funny he is, how much he can do. Like, and then when you meet him, he's such a nice guy. Like, that's pretty cool. Brian Callen was an incredible show for me. I thought, trying to think of some other people, Mitch Fattel's coming back up. He's got some of the best crowd work I've ever seen.
Yeah, Mitch is good.
Gary Owens had, his crowd work was, I wouldn't say his whole show was one of my favorites, but his crowd work blew me away. He would do his set and he would just ask the audience, hey, any questions?
Right.
And they'd ask him a question, didn't matter what they asked him. Destroy. Yeah. He would destroy with it. I saw him do it night after night after night after night. Ask me a question. Kill. And it's stronger than any closer he could have, like any closing joke he could have had. It was unbelievable. And then he would do it not once, twice, 3, 4, 5 questions in a row, just blowing the roof off. And I'm like, wow, that is like an amazing level to get to. Like, I think it was like Bill Hicks said that. Like, once you get up on stage and you're being funny and you're falling back on your act, like, that's when you've made it. And that's the level he's at. Like, he can go up there and he could rock a show and not even go into his set. Yeah. And it's amazing to see someone on that level. I didn't realize it's got to take a decade or so to get to that level. I mean, it's insane. Like, he's so good.
I didn't realize you studied Hicks as much too, because that's one of the things I love, that fucking whole thing he says about, you know, the basically standards of comedy he had written in that club, or they had written for him in that club in Texas. But and then you see it online all the fucking time too. But I always like the whole, like, you are the supply and demand of your comedy, you know, and that's
you're your own brand. And the one thing he did that was so amazing was he's like, you have a microphone, you can make a difference. Like, he would hit real issues. Not only was he hilarious, he would talk about the war on drugs. He'd talk about the military. He'd talk about real problems and really address them, like, hit close to home to where everyone's sitting there going, wow, I just learned. Like, you did not leave one of his shows thinking the same way you did before you came and sat down to watch it. Like, he changed people, and that's one of the reasons I love working at the Funny Bone, is because it's public speech at its finest. Like, you're giving them, once you're granted the opportunity to go up there, as long as it's not an amateur competition or something, I don't think I've ever seen anyone shut off, like where they cut the mic or pulled them off the stage or anything. It's, once you're up there, that's your opportunity. You can say whatever you want, and there's like, for instance, I think they had like a I don't know how it was actually called, but it was basically like a gay show up there at the Funny Bone. Like, that was the theme of it. It was a gay show, and that might not seem like a big deal, but it's crazy. Where do you get that? Where do you, like, for someone like that who's looking for something like that like, there's not stuff like that everywhere. It's amazing. Like, they give a voice to people who need it.
Area. See, this area is, I mean, we're in Virginia Beach.
We're in the South. We're still in the South.
Yeah, this is below the Mason-Dixon line. Yep. People don't realize that. And it's a lot different than, like, Hollywood and L.A.
It's as far up north as you can go before you cross over it, but it's still in the South.
This isn't like, you know, Sean's bathhouse show where you can have her, she'll have her show, like, every freaking Monday or Sunday, whatever the fuck day it is. But there's a bathhouse show, which basically all, you know, it's the gays of comedy, blah, blah, blah. She calls herself a fag hag, and it's pretty funny. This is so different here, because that's another thing too that I kind of think sucks, but at the same time I understand it. Where there's a lot of comics that here they're like, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that because of where we are. Whereas it's kind of limiting, because as soon as you leave this area, as soon as you leave 757, that's very well acceptable. You know,
there's another view on that too. Like, that's some Eddie Murphy stuff. He said, if anyone ever tells you you can't do that, don't fucking listen to them. Yeah. But if they say, if they're giving you advice, you know, maybe you should steer away from this, maybe you don't want to, that's totally different. That's somebody trying to help you. But if anyone ever tells you don't do that ever again, you probably shouldn't listen to them. No one should. You do what you think's the funniest. If you're not happy with it, it's not gonna work. But you do have to. There's a middle area there for sure, because I've seen the extremes of that both ways.
Well, what I thought was really cool is Jeff Ross is a fucking hell of a nice guy, man. Tony Hinchcliffe writes a lot of his shit, and they're both awesome guys. And he has a show now, The Burn, on TV, and I thought it was fucking funny. He went to this meeting for hypersensitive people, and he speed roasted them. And that was just hilarious, because all these guys were dealing with their phobias and laughing their ass off at it. And for some people, I mean, some people think cancer is not a laughing matter, but, you tell that to somebody that can finally laugh at what they have going on. That's usually like the best.
It's
not
amazing.
A cure, it's the best treatment.
And how many businesses do that? They're like, hey, we're going to go out on a limb here. Like, this is probably not going to be accepted. This group that's discriminated on.
Yeah.
And okay, here, we're going to have a gay show. Give them the mic. Let them get their opinions out there. What do they want to say? We don't care. We don't care about the backlash. Here's the mic. Go ahead. Get your voice out there. That's an amazing thing. That stuff like, like autism, shows like that. We're going to do a show to raise money for this.
Gary Minke does that.
Gary Minke does that a lot. He raised a good amount of money. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I know he raises money for autism while he's there doing that stuff. Or even as the extreme of like Geeks Night, you've been on that.
Yeah.
I mean, think of that. That's geeks.
Like,
what is a geek? Someone who's not
books.
accepted. The outcast. Hey, losers. Everyone that no one wants to hang out with, no one's talking to you. Here, have a mic. Get your viewpoint out there. It's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I almost got kind of bumped off there because I can kick everybody's ass in the whole building.
I actually, when the Geek Night started, was stressing getting on there really, really bad, and the dudes kept going, "You're not a geek. You can't be on the show. Oh, I see you talking to girls. Screw you." And I'm like, man, this is bullshit, dude. Like, I'm saying, like, I could get up there. And first of all, if you think I'm not a friggin' nerd, you're an idiot. If you think I'm so cool, you got something, like, you're not seeing clearly. But also, that's another type of specific thing, like an Apollo show, a Geek Night show. That's where you have to write material for that show. Most people do. You can't just go find all these geeks and it's just going to work. Those people are writing stuff specifically for that show. Like, for instance, John Small, I saw his stuff. Most of that whole set, I'd never heard him do any of it before. And he was killing it because he knew the audience, he knew what they were coming to see, and he gave it to them. And that's the trick there.
Last time I was on that show, I was on it about, I think it was like about a year ago almost. Every fucking joke I did was just specifically for that night, which sucks because it was funny shit, but nobody else will get it anywhere else. And the funny thing is the people that came to see me, you can pick them out in the crew, because I was like, oh, there's guys I know from SEAL Team 4. Those are guys from Construction Battalion Maintenance Unit 202. Those are the guys from Developmental Group. I mean, it's like, I got all these guys, SEALs and Seabees, are sitting in there and fucking, next to Trek, fucking Captain Kirk and Spock and Deep Space Nine motherfuckers. That shit was awesome.
That's how I treated the Apollo night. I got asked to do the Apollo night 2 or 3 times, and I kept saying no, because I saw so many comedians go up there and just get butchered alive, just get chopped down, and booed off the stage because they didn't bring an Apollo set. Like, I had the luxury of working there over and over and over again. I've seen that show hundreds and hundreds of times. I know exactly what they're looking for, and I knew I can't bring my jokes on that stage.
I seen you say something about it, and that was fucking funny. And Roy Rogers, he wrote something about doing it.
He did the Richmond one. He did the Richmond one,
and I retired or something.
Yeah, I don't believe he did this one, but maybe. But I think he did it up in Richmond a couple times. But I've never seen the Richmond Apollo night. Yeah, it was crazy. But then after a long enough time, I think it took about a year, I had enough jokes. Like, as I would write jokes, I'd be like, that's an Apollo joke right there. And I'd put it aside because, like you said, you can go up to the different crowd and try one of those Apollo jokes, it's not gonna fly. Well, it will not fly. But
that would fall under the fucking category and not allowed in a lot of these other rooms.
Exactly, and that's a mistake I made the other night. I got up there and I tried some of these jokes because they worked so good at the Apollo, and I just wanted to so bad, and it is definitely not for everyone. It's a specific. Like you said, some of these shows are so specific that you really got to know your audience.
Remember that room we did in fucking Portsmouth, the Code 3? You tried to do
the flak jacket or whatever.
Oh, yeah. that was another time. That was another night. But yeah. I did that room a few times. One night, I was just like, fuck it. I wore a flak. I forgot all about that. I wore my MTV, or it's still even call it a flak jacket. I wore that up. I'm like, fuck, I dressed for the occasion. Because that was a hard fucking... yeah.
Because everyone else felt like they needed one anyway.
Just walking down the street in that fucking town, you're afraid to get shot at.
Was that the night where the crowd got into it with each other?
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen at a show. One guy, like, he made, like, he just, I forget who was on stage, but he yelled up on stage a comment, like, trying to, not necessarily even, very mild for what you would call a heckler, but he yelled something out, and this dude in the middle of the audience stood up and was like, "Shut your mouth, I'll kill you!" And just like went from laughing to like some sort of like deep rage, like it just went off and like stopped the show. It was insane. You ever play a video game Borderlands?
It was like, well, in Borderlands they got this dude, if you shoot his hat off and he fucking, "Oh, have you ever strangled with your own spine? I'll choke you with your own intestines."
And then, of course, that was funnier than anything that comedian had set up to say. Like, he had to jump all over that. And he's like, "Oh, my God, the crowds are going at each other." That was awesome. That was so funny, man. Like,
oh, my point being is, like, doing that room right there, we have all this weird shit happen. So much... And the thing is one night you'd have, like, 2 people in there. Oh, one of my hardest shows was ever in that room, too. It's like, fucking... I had this guy sitting in the front row, cross-armed, drinking coffee, staring me dead in the eye, and this guy must have been a fucking Vietnam Marine. Because I straight up, I mean, seriously, he had the fucking 1,000-yard stare. I've seen it in Iraq several times coming back from long convoys. And he just stared me down. And then I'm like, fuck. And I couldn't get a laugh from anybody in the whole thing, so I sat down. Travis Carl goes up after me. And same thing. Couldn't get a laugh. I felt 10 times better he bombed because then it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't me. It was like, oh, okay, cool. It's just this fucking room. There's no energy in there.
I've done that before a couple of times where I was like, not that I bombed, I did fine, but I was just like, I just didn't get that pop like I normally do. And then you see someone far more advanced and may go up who I've seen their set destroy on like a Saturday night, and then they're not getting pops on stuff. They're not even getting laughs on certain things. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It's the relief they bombed, and it's like, just like, bro, I'm so glad you bombed, man, because I know it's not me. And then they laugh.
Absolutely,
And that was like that. I think that night when Travis, because we were like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? That night was like, oh, he's my buddy now, for real.
Yeah.
And after that. But it's so funny, you'll hit a room like that, and then you'll fucking... I did this show
I've done a couple of those with Travis, too. Some stuff on ODU and certain things where it's just like, geez,
fucking,
man. Like,
what was that one we did, too? Mojo Bones on ODU campus?
I never got to do that one,
was
but yeah,
strange,
that's wild,
man. Because
I've been to that bar a bunch of times. I couldn't imagine comedy being in there all of a sudden.
Oh, the girls loved me in there. I had this 50 Shades of Grey joke. They're all reading the book. Fucking... I got free drinks every time I went in that place because of that. But it's so strange the diverse places that you go and the material that you save things up for. Because I also did another room, Kazi's, and it was Veterans Day, and it was just all veterans of comedy. I think Jim Sward put me on that fucking show, and that was pretty cool. I was honored to be on there with all the rest of the veterans in comedy. And there was no way you were going to touch half the shit you would say in any other place, because it was all really guarded. And I think that's probably the cleanest set I've ever did ever. I think I might have just said maybe shit is the only profound word I said the whole time,
That's funny. Yeah, I was talking with Brendan and CV the other day, and we got on the topic about Brendan's... like, he went through and started categorizing, like, he's got so many jokes, and to see the actual, the categories is hilarious. It's like, filthy, vulgar jokes, and then it's like, smarter, filthy, vulgar jokes, and like, stuff like that is so funny. Like, he just had so many stuff in so many ways to break it down and analyze it.
That's
this
pretty
is
cool.
For them, this is for them. And
that's how people categorize, like, techno. This is house, trance, this is deep bass, trance, techno, ambient, fucking
mixtape, volume 4.
That's cool, man.
And I've talked to some, who was that guy? Basil was showing me that, like, how some guys have, like, I have this 5-minute set for this, I have this 5-minute set for this, I have this one for this, and they know exactly which one they're gonna do. I'm sitting here pointing at the air like people are watching me, but...
Right. Well,
yeah.
Fucking, I used to, I like those guys. Sometimes, I remember when I first met them, I'm like, what the fuck? But after, like, you talk to them a couple of times, they're they're fucking normal people. And then you go to Trader Joe's, and I think I need to try to talk fucking Brendan into hooking me up with a discount for, because hook me up with an employee discount, dude, if you ever listen to this. Probably not. I think I only have 6 listeners, and they're all Marines in Camp Lejeune. And about 4 friends of mine that are comics in California, and that's about it.
I think you got 8 now. I'm gonna bring at least 2.
Oh, okay, awesome.
For this show, at least.
Who are your biggest influences, right now?
I would say I could answer that from the time I started. It's not even a question. Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock are the 2 people I grew up watching the most, that I've always respected the most, and I think it started even Bill Cosby before that, but I was so young at that point that it's way more Seinfeld and Chris Rock for my age.
That's cool, man.
Yes, and the reason I always say both of them is because I figured this out a long, long time ago. Like, a white guy and a black guy do not do the same jokes. Right. They do not work the same way. And Chris Rock even had that whole movie, showing that, where he turned white and then none of his set would work at all, and he was, getting harassed and this and that. And you look at the way Seinfeld does his stuff, it's as funny as it could possibly be, but it's super clean. It's everyday stuff. It's milk, Halloween, going to send a letter in the mail, going to the grocery store, driving a car, but he destroys it. And then you look at Chris Rock, he goes vulgar, he goes this, he hits every topic, but it's the funniest thing you could ever see.
A lot of his shit was written written with Louis.
I would actually just found that out this week.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, CB was explaining all that to me. I never knew. I think it was CB. I hope I'm not giving credit the wrong way, but I think he was the one that was explaining all that to me, and or no, that was probably you at the hockey game, wasn't it?
That might have been. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think you were telling me that at the hockey game.
I'm a Navy CB. What are you saying? It's CB Wilkins. He's a local comic. Pretty nice guy. Matter of fact, I took him to a game, too. Actually, let me rephrase that. He's a real big dick. but he means well. I mean, I really like the guy. He's honest. Yeah. He has no filter. No, honestly.
You don't got to worry about him not cursing and not trusting him.
I used to not like the guy. I really do like the guy now. And then after you get to know him, it's like, oh, that's him. He's, I guess a nice way to say it, he's kind of abrasive.
After you get to know him, you're gonna either
you're gonna
like him or you're gonna hate him. It's gonna be one of the 2 extremes. You're gonna really like him or you're gonna really hate him once you get to know him. But I think a lot of people they're not used to someone just immediately saying whatever is in their head. Everyone has that filter, and he purposely refuses to have that filter. He's like, I couldn't sleep tonight if I don't tell this girl she's disgusting and annoying, get away from me or something. And you're like,
well, he's definitely a unique person.
I get to where I just like being around someone who's unique like that. It's fun.
It is definitely fun, and then just when you get to shoot the shit with the guy, he actually ends up being pretty cool. But yeah, I think we're talking about that at the game, Norfolk Admirals game. Speaking of which, what did you think of hockey, man?
Oh, that was sick, man. I never had a ticket that close for anything in my life. I don't think. Well, yeah, I have pro wrestling one time, but for a real actual athletic event with you don't know who's gonna win or they're going at it for real. That was insane to be that close, just touching the glass. I mean, that was crazy. That was really fun. I'm not a big sports guy. I've kind of gotten out of that once I got into comedy, working the nights all the time, and I miss all the games, so it's hard to keep up.
Dude, such a fucking hockey nut. I just got this NHL Game Center Live, which is fucking awesome because, dude, that sounded like a 50 going off in the background.
Yeah, there was something serious
big
going
fucking
on
gun,
in the room next to us.
My daughter's probably jumping on the bed or something, beating the shit out of her Monster High dolls or something. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm such a big fucking hockey nut. I just finally got Game Center Live where you can actually watch games that happened a couple months ago or last week or whatever, and they had 800 classic games. So I'm watching my hero Stevie Yzerman and all these other people, their milestones. He had a natural hat trick. I help out the Norfolk Admirals here, and they're Anaheim's affiliate now, but last year they were Tampa Bay's. There's so many times where it was fucking so awesome that you'd have people that were in the Red Wings organization or Tampa Bay's organization hanging out. And Stevie Yzerman, I mean, you can see I got a couple of his autographs right behind me.
That's awesome.
And but I was trying so hard not to act like a little girl when I'm standing by the guy and just getting things running back and forth. And
yeah, I'm constantly dealing with that feeling working at the comedy club. You know exactly what I mean. It's like, yeah, of course I want a picture with the guy, I want to hang out with him, but I also got to be professional. I don't want to annoy him. I know how it is when there's a real big name and every single person is trying to get a picture with him before the show. They're bothering him. They're about to go up and do an hour and a half, or 45 minutes to an hour and a half. That they're getting in the right state of mind. You know, they don't want you harassing them, asking them stuff. Hey, let me get a picture. Hey, let me do this. It's unprofessional. You got to find the right time. You got to feel a person out, and then if they're cool and you're cool with them, and you say, hey, you know, maybe after the show, would you mind if I, you know, grab a picture with you real fast, or hey, you want to grab a beer, and you'll find out if the person's cool. It's amazing how many people will sit down and help you. Oh yeah, I could just throw out names forever of guys who have like, oh, you know what? We're talking about my favorites, Bam Bam White, man. I gotta throw him out there, dude. Right, that guy, before I had ever even been allowed to go up on Funny Bone stage once, he sat me down. He took me over to the condo. He's like showing me stuff on the laptop. He's breaking it down for me, explaining. Right. You know, some of the most important stuff to me still about how that I'm still trying to learn, but he was trying to drill it in my head like right away, and I'm so lucky that I get opportunities like that. Like just stuff like it's not about you, it's about the crowd. Right. It's about how they feel. It doesn't matter how you feel up there. It doesn't matter if you feel uncomfortable, awkward, whatever. All that matters is how they're feeling. So whatever you got to do to make them happy and having a good time, that's why. But if you watch his show, by the end of the show, it's like a rock concert. It's insane. Like, they're standing around, jumping, high-fiving, dancing. It's crazy. It's just like, wow. Like, you know, stuff like that. But a lot of the guys are cool. I mean, that will just sit down and give you, like, priceless. Seton Smith, the guy that's just blowing up right now. You know, he might be getting a TV show soon, all kind of stuff. Like, he sit there and go over to Smoky Bones and eat ribs and give me advice for hours.
We were hanging out with that guy. We did. I don't know if. I did Wild Wing. He's the guy with the freaking. Yeah, I did the Wild Wing room with them, and
he looks like he looks like Buckwheat grew up into like a sophisticated
he's a really good guy.
like adult, you know.
Same thing. I had a pretty similar experience with the guy just shooting the shit with them at the Wild Wing place that Tim was running a long time ago. And also Code Red. That's the Mountain Dew I drank. Code 3 in Portsmouth was another one I did with that dude.
But yeah, when someone gets to that level, the advice you can get from that is just amazing. Yeah. It's priceless. It really is. Like, for him to sit down and talk to me for like an hour is priceless. Like, there's no, like, if you're talking about like any type of thing you're trying to achieve, you have to train. And that's what training is, it's like teaching. It's like going to a college or something, you know what I mean? It's like, that was like a course, you know, that would cost a couple $100 to take. He just threw it out there for free because he's a nice guy, you know, and he didn't have to do that, you know, but he's comfortable enough in how good he is that he'll give all his help to everyone, you know, stuff like that. Like, there's a ton of people, the great people who come out there that have just given me really good advice, like I said, like Bam Bam, Paulo Francisco, Tommy Davidson, super cool. Yeah, Charlie Murphy, super cool. I got a funny story with Tommy Davidson. Brian Callen, all these guys are super freaking cool. Like, I'm trying to think of people who are just so... Joel Lindley, who's there the rest of this week, just incredibly nice guy. Kenny Smith, like, just really, really funny guy.
Callen's a good guy from the store. I remember him from the Comedy Store. Really,
so
really nice
good. Like, that's another cool thing. Is like his. I saw his whole show, and then it just came out on DVD. The show that he was touring around perfecting, it just came out on DVD, and to watch it, it just came out. It's like new release. You can go watch it. It's funny. And then you remember, wow, I saw that a year ago. And he refuses to record stuff or put stuff on the internet or anything. Like, He's real big against that. Brian Callen. He's real big against, like, he's like, I don't know why people sell DVDs. I don't know why they do this at the shows. He's like, because then why would you come to the show? He did it forever till he retired that stuff, and then he put the DVD out, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
He did a fucking show. I forget what the hell it was. It was on MTV. It was a monster fucking yeah, God damn it, I can't remember what it was, but my daughter loved that show. So next time I see him, I hate asking comics for autographs, but I gotta get his autograph for my daughter because she loves that show too, you know. And no, like there's this band, Barris Kennedy Overdrive, at the Comedy Store, and they close out just about every night. And Don Barris is the front man for it. And he'll have guest people on there, and you play like basically air instruments. And I was playing air guitar next to fucking Brian Callen, who was playing fucking air piano and shit with the fucking awesome, man.
Well, think of how flattering it is for someone to walk up. Can I just have you sign something?
Yeah.
Will you just sign this for me? Like, I like you that much. And then you gotta think of how big a dick you gotta be to be like, go fuck yourself. You know? Like, yeah. I mean, like, and I do see the other end of it too. I'm not gonna drop names on the podcast, but man, there's some guys that'll come through and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to work with this guy. This is gonna be awesome. And then they are the biggest dick you've ever met in your life, and it's rare, but it definitely happens for sure. 2 or 3 names are just like screaming in my mind right now.
For comedy, man, for comics or for comedy, I think it's kind of shitty when the guys won't sign. But I can understand athletes, like pro athletes, like, for example, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's a dick when it comes to autographs. But the second he signs one, he's going to be wherever the fuck he is for about 4 hours. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, there is a level. A level you got to respect, and the guy's gotten so high up that it's just too much.
But if you're like a touring headliner, man, you're going to make somebody's day. Not just that, you're going to bring 10 people. You sign that one autograph.
And the thing is, when you're coming the funny bone, there's 450 people in there, you need to factor that time in, that they're going to walk past you and say something. You know, there's an hour after the show where that's part of what you're getting paid for. I mean, technically it's not, but in my opinion, that's part of it. You know, like, why not? That's part of why the UFC took off so big. That's why Dana White was running that, and one of his main things was, we're not the NFL. What NFL game can you go to and then go talk to the players after the game? It's not the way it is.
Right.
Like, our fighters will be at the press conference. They will be signing autographs. They'll be there for you can come up and talk to these guys and get to know them. What other professional sport on that level allows that? It's rare, you know. That's
one of the second biggest reasons why I love hockey so much. Like, the biggest reason, well, I mean, it's fucking awesome sport, but one of the biggest things that I love about it is after every losing series, they have a handshake line. No matter what. They always shake hands at the end of it. That's fucking awesome. But also, they're so fucking approachable. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the game, when they walk out, they fucking shake hands and all that other stuff. And one of the things, too, I've seen at the club, at a lot of clubs, actually, is that at the end of their show, you know, they'll hang out and they'll fucking sit down. They'll take pictures with everybody. Sandy Danto and Paulie Shore was the last one I saw where they just hung out and they signed anything and everything for fucking everybody.
Yeah, it's amazing.
A lot of people think Shore's a dick, but that's fine, whatever. But you know, he does his job and he fucking gets the fuck out of there.
He was super nice to me, like the whole time he was there. Yeah. He was super, super nice, real friendly guy. Like, he catches a lot of shit, you know. Like, even I talk crap about him sometimes, but he's a great, great, nice guy. Like, he's
I won a lottery, bro. I won a lottery at birth, bro. No, I mean,
and he's sitting there, you know, behind the bar, showing us, I'm about to put this out. I'm about to put this out. This stuff, people,
politics shit,
who like a huge Paulie Shore fan would go insane to see something like that. And he's just showing it to me for nothing. Just here, check this out. This is about to drop in 2 weeks. This is about to be, and it's like, wow, that's really cool if you're a fan of comedy, you know.
Yeah. Nah, man. I was gonna say, who would you think is probably the biggest asshole, but I won't do that. How many?
Oh, it's not a question. I know the answer.
You want to name names or no?
If you prefer the fact that I also am employed there as the bartender, I'm not gonna name names just in case anybody gets mad at me. But I prefer to. I don't want it to come across like I'm bashing the club, which is obviously I'm not. But,
yeah, right. Well, no.
But you know what I mean.
Edit this out portion right here.
No, you can leave that in. I didn't say a name. There's assholes out there. People can know that.
What do you think? Probably some of the best. What was the best shows you've done? Where do you
Me
think
personally?
Yeah.
Probably my favorite show that I've ever done is the only time I've actually technically, in my opinion, traveled. I went up to Blacksburg on Virginia Tech campus, and that was one of the most amazing rooms. Like, as far as not the level of the room, I'm saying the crowd in the room was amazing. Like, it was really amazing. Like, and it was I've gone to Richmond 3, 4, 5 times,
right?
But it doesn't feel like traveling because I know so many people that go back and forth, and the only reason I'm up there is because I know people from Virginia Beach. But when I went up there to Blacksburg, I destroyed for 15 minutes, and I've got the audio, and it's just like the best feeling probably that I've had. There's a couple highlights. I mean, the Apollo night when I did that, it's a lot of people were making fun of me. Oh, you're such a pussy, this and that, because I was like, well, I wrote up some stuff on Facebook, kind of like sound emotional or whatever. But it was an amazing thing to me to go in there to see that room and to see. It's just like the comedy gauntlet to me. It's like walking the gauntlet. It's like you step up on the stage and everyone in that room, their instinct is to hate you.
Right.
Why are you here? What the hell are you doing at our show? You know, it would be like going up like on the
white
gay
boy.
show that we were talking about.
Right.
But if everyone in the audience could instantly look at you and know you're straight.
Yeah.
Like, which obviously they can't do that, but that's the type of thing it is. It's that instantly the sense of you don't belong here. What are you doing? And most of the time, Bo's not going to cut you any slack. He's going to bring you up there like, oh, check out this guy. Get ready to boo him off the stage. You know, come on up, dummy. And then you're up there.
Look at this honky.
Yeah, and then to go up against that and to still, like, they were applauding and cheering me, like, at the end of it. And they were dying laughing the whole time. And like, the ultimate compliment to me at an Apollo night crowd is if you can get one of those girls to go, oh boy, you stupid. Oh, he's stupid. If they ever say that, that means you're doing something right. Like, and I got one of those, and I like addressed it with the crowd. I was like, got one, boom, nailed it, got it. He's stupid. And that set just went perfect. And it was like out of nowhere. Like, I got Orlando Long kind of like pulled some strings, got me on the show last second.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, and like, so I didn't have time to be nervous about it. Right. It was just like I didn't have all day to worry. Oh God, am I going to get booed off stage tonight at the Apollo? It was like, hey, you got 30 minutes. Go buy a shirt from across the street, and let's see what you got. And
dude, I love
and it just, oh man, it was just such a good feeling. Not because that's the best crowd I ever had, not because that's the best show, just because I was supposed to fail. Like, I was supposed to fail, and it was the complete opposite. So that was just like such a great feeling.
Yeah, those guys are fucking fun people to hang out with. For Orlando, and that's one thing too. I like when they go to the shows. Those guys go to the shows. There's not about. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I love being a comic because you can hang out with anybody. The diversity of fucking being that sort of an artist. You know what I mean? Like, I remember hanging out with Skeeter G, Heavy Daddy, Orlando, Brian Rogers, and Cletus Cassidy after an Apollo night, and we were just out there just laughing our asses off, talking shit about comedy and the diversity of the different comedy that's in the fucking in the area, and it's awesome, especially hanging out with those guys and seeing how. Black comedy and white comedy is really a lot different, but at the same time, you're all working for that common goal. You're trying to fucking get that.
It is weird. That's why I said I got like the Seinfeld and the Chris Rock, because in my head I always had this idea, if you could somehow like become this mad scientist and merge those two together, if you could come some sort of Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock hybrid at this time, now that they've already done their thing.
Right.
Well, not that they're not still doing their thing. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, if you could become that now, that's the new thing. I think that America's waiting for.
Louis C.K. actually kind of did that.
He did. He absolutely. That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too is I think in was it Key and Peele.
And that's why he's like the king right now.
Yeah, they're like, man, no white people can say nigga except for Louis C.K. because he's funny when he says it. That was one of the things that was in their show, which I thought that was kind of funny. Actually,
Joel Lindley had a joke about that that he always does, and I'm not gonna throw his joke out on the radio, but it's a funny joke that involved that, and Guy Torrey came up to him and said, "You're not gonna use that joke." I'm like, he asked him to stop doing the joke for the week, which is kind of crazy to me. I'm like, wow, like still kind of. There's still times, like you said, like. But what's great about that is the fact that, like, when there's a specific crowd coming for a specific thing, they want that thing.
Yeah.
Like when you're going to a gay show, they want gay comedy. When you're going to Apollo night, they want Apollo comedy. So if you can be that one little tiny part of the show that's different,
right,
and still be accepted, it's an amazing feeling. Like for instance, the roast with that I was on with JP and Brittany Murphy. They did a totally different style of roast than I've ever seen before, where it's like, hey, we're going to get to know you guys first. You're both going to go up and do 15 minutes. The crowd's going to get to know you. And then we're going to go into the roast.
Yeah.
Well, they still did the close and the roast and the rebuttal, but no one does just an actual stand-up in the beginning. And when I heard that idea, I said, this is amazing. This is a great idea. This is really good. Did not necessarily turn out that way because these people, not only are they so familiar with them that they probably have seen most of their stuff before. I mean, it was all like friends, family. I mean, they packed it out. They filled the whole place up. Cinema Cafe, it was completely full. But
one good thing about the cafe too is that he got such that it's a comedy place in Virginia Beach. But they have a lot of fucking return crowds. I mean, if you do that room next week, 50%, I'd say 30% of that crowd is going to be there last week, and they were there the week before, and they're probably there the week before.
And the thing is, they came for a specific thing. Yes. They came to see people get roasted. They came to see me. They wanted blood. And when you gave them 30 minutes of good comedy at the beginning, they didn't even want to hear it. They didn't care. It didn't matter how funny they were being up there. The crowd, they're like, that's not what we came for. You got to know what the crowd wants. It's crazy.
I was so happy that, because I was supposed to be in Ohio that weekend. And it was cool because I showed up, and I wasn't even supposed to show up. I showed up, and Dwayne's like, he saw me, he's like, hey, can you bring us, he's like, here, bring us up. So I did the whole, like, fuck it, if you're here for comedy and debauchery, I did that whole fucking, the best Don Barris I could as far as bringing people up, And then, but that was awesome. But bringing it back to what you're saying, that show you did on the road, is awesome when you travel and you do clubs like that. It's because they came to see comedy. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're in some of these places we've done in Chesapeake and fucking Portsmouth, it's like, surprise, comedy. They didn't even know that there was a fucking comedy night there that was going on and whatever. Or just like, what happened? Schedule? What time is it right now?
4:30.
Oh shit. Gotta go?
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I gotta be there in 30 minutes. So I gotta wrap it up.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I could sit here and do this for 2 hours. It's totally my fault I'm late, but
no, dude, I told you.
Don't
You gotta
want to
pick that one girl up or whatever?
That obviously ain't happening. She better. If I got about 30 texts, she ain't getting a ride from me. No, this is far more important than picking her up.
Well, dude, I appreciate that.
No. I already told her that. She already has some other people. They're just gonna have to drive a little bit further to get her. That's fine.
What just happened? Everette Price got a text basically saying, "Fuck, I might be late for work in about 30 minutes." So we're gonna wrap this up, man. Damn.
No, but no, it's just. The thing about the roast, it was just all about, like, that's one thing I want to touch real fast, is just that's one crazy thing about that Clash of the Comics. That's what's so hard about it, is you don't know the audience. You can never know the audience. You can have an entirely urban crowd come with your clean jokes and bomb, and so you say, fine, I'm gonna get an urban set. You come back the next week, and it's this entirely sophisticated martini crowd who's not having it, and it's like you have to be able to on the fly read it and run. It's like crazy.
I was gonna say about the Clash is that not just that, you got all the comics that are there and bringing their A game. But at the same time, with that diversity in the crowd, it's usually people that are friends with people. So they're like, bro, don't fucking laugh unless it's me up there.
Yeah,
man.
And I hate seeing people do that because I have never, ever done that. But I see a lot of that. Like, I don't tell people to laugh for me. I don't tell people, don't laugh for this person. That's crazy.
It's like when people got some kind of competition going on. And it's all, for example, like an internet vote. It turns into a popularity contest versus an actual how good is it.
But that's the thing. It's not. They have a odd fan favorite now that gets a guest spot every week as well. So now the winner gets a guest spot and the fan favorite gets a guest spot. So now it is kind of like that. But there was always the judges are still the ones deciding the winners. Like for instance, this was the first time they did it here in Virginia Beach. So the fan favorite actually got third place.
Who is the fan favorite?
Tron.
Okay.
who brought probably about 100 people in there. But I mean, not taking anything away.
Right,
I mean, he blew the roof off. I'm just saying.
Who was that? Who won?
Leonard won,
okay.
and Kyle Phelan got second.
Oh, right on. Oh, he's a good guy, man. I like Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, to me, like, he destroyed it. Like,
right.
he's a very, very, very funny guy. Like, I'm really impressed with the stuff he's doing.
Yeah, he's got cerebral palsy, and his comedy's very cerebral.
I don't know if he has cerebral palsy.
No,
I don't know. I was like, okay, you're joking. I was like, I don't think he does.
His comedy's just cerebral. All right, man. Well, I don't know how the fuck to end these things, so let's just wrap it up. What do you think? How the fuck do you end these things?
Hey, I'll tell you how you end this thing. Josh just got me on his PC, made my Twitter public, at Everette Price. EverettePrice. Get on there, get some jokes, add me, hit me on the Facebook. I put all the shows on Facebook. If you want to come to a show, all you gotta do is get up with me. I get you in there. Come see me at the Funny Bone whenever you want. I'm there every night.
Hell yeah, man. If you're standing on stage, you serve me fucking drinks.
If I'm not on stage, you get a stiff drink.
Yeah. Well, there's some people there who give you stiff other things, too. That's awesome. Alright, so that's Everette Price, man.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. It's a real pleasure, man. I know
Word
you plugged
up.
me one other time before, and I really appreciate it, man.
Hey,
Thank
hell
you so
yeah,
much.
dude. Thank you, man, for being awesome and hooking me up with Mountain Dews at the fucking place. But, like I said, man, I really don't know how to end these things.
Liquor.